What's going on, my peoples? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to part 3 of a series I'm calling Stress. If you haven't watched part 1 or part 2, then I suggest you go back and watch part 1 and part 2 before you watch part 3. We want to make sure we know exactly where we are and where we're trying to get to, right? So just a quick recap for those who have been listening and paying attention so far. Part 1, when it comes to stress management, we talked about the S. The S is for stepping back, self-analyze, self-assess. The following week, we talked about the T, and the T is for talking it over. Talking to our circle of counsel, those opinions that we value and we trust. And this week, we're going to be talking about the R. And the R is for recommitting. That's right, recommitting to the plans, to the goals that we have. We have to be able to apply part 1 and part 2 so we can put into motion part 3. When we're recommitting to something, it doesn't mean that we forget the goal and the destination of where we're trying to get to. No, it just means that we've taken the step back and we've talked it over, so we've gained a different perspective on how to reach that goal. Don't throw those goals away. The initial reason why you wanted to achieve those things, don't throw those away. What does that look like from a practical, step-by-step standpoint? That's a great question. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to get 3 pieces of paper. Well, you see, I'm old school, right? I'm still a paper and pen and paper to the pen type of person, right? But if you have an app that you like, that you take notes in, that's perfectly fine. You can use that too. But I'm old school, so we're going to be talking about pen and paper, right? But get out 3 pieces of paper. And on each paper, we're going to write 3 different things, but they're all similar and actually all one and the same. The first piece of paper, we're going to talk about the goals and the things that we wanted to accomplish, the goals and the dreams that we want to accomplish. Write all of that down. The second piece of paper, we are going to write down all of the things that worked for us, right? All of the things that brought us, that felt like it was bringing us a step closer, whether it was a small win, a medium win, or something that seemed like a big win. Write down all of the positives that happened during when you were pursuing those goals and those dreams that you initially wrote out and said you wanted to accomplish those things. On the third piece of paper, I want you to write down every single thing that did not work, everything that didn't work. Write all of that down on that third piece of paper. Then I want you to sit and compare and just look at all of these 3 things. I know, and even sometimes comparing will, the spirit of stress will come up on you, right? But I want you to sit and compare and just look at all of those paper, right? The goals are where we're trying to get to. Those are the things we're trying to accomplish, the goals, the dreams. Those are the things that we're all trying to get to. When we look at all the positives, we're gonna take that with us. Now, what will make the biggest difference and the biggest impact moving forward is, even though we're not going to take the things that didn't work, the negative stuff that didn't work in our favor, we're going to take the things that we learned from it and write that on the positive paper, right? Because when things don't work for us initially and it creates stress, there is a reason as to why it didn't work. And we have to find out the reason why it didn't work so we can take the lesson and apply it to it so we can move forward in a positive direction, right? Even though we're not going to take the negative stuff with us, but we're going to take the lesson from it. Sometimes the best way to find the right formula is by making mistakes, by getting it wrong. So even though we aren't going to take the initial end result of the things that didn't work, we're going to take the similar steps, refine it, readjust it, and find a way to recommit it to the plan so we can continue pressing forward. When we're talking about recommitting to something, all we're trying to do is to take the steps that didn't work, revise it, and make a plan and push us in a direction that will get us closer to where we're trying to go. The mission is always going to be the same. The mission is the mission. We're going to finish the mission, but the steps that it takes to reach the destination will often change along the way. We're all just trying to figure out different ways, more effective ways, and more efficient ways to get there. This isn't going to be the first time that you're going to have to re-advise and recommit to a plan or readjust the plan. But when you're in a stressful moment, we have to take a step back, talk it over so we can recommit to the plan and continue pressing forward. The R is for recommitting. finding out what didn't work, take those similar methods, but adjust a few things, and that will put us in a different direction and get us to a different result. Hey, if you've been watching this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. Share this message with a friend, a family member, or someone that you think would get some value in it. I appreciate you and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week for part 4 of the series, Stress.